Hello everyone. So I got a bunch of new banknotes and there's two of them I want to give some special highlights to, including my new oldest one in my collection. So let's get into it. So this new oldest banknote in my collection technically isn't foreign because it's from the United States and I am in the United States, but it's still pretty neat because of its age. Let's take a look. Maybe a little hard to see. I had to put in the sleeve here to protect it. Try and focus it on the screen. So you can get a good view of it there. This banknote is only worth 10 cents, so a dime, but it's a paper banknote, not a little dime, which is a coin. And on the front here, we can see on the side, we got a picture of William Meredith, who lived from 1799 to 1873. And this banknote is from 1874, so this issue was issued the year after he died. He was the Secretary of Treasury under President Taylor from 1849 to 1850. So you got a little red seal there. And on the back, we can just see it's not focusing very well. We got some writing there. It's all green on the back. And this is, as you can see, written on the side. Fortunately, I think it's mirroring, so you probably can't read it. Fractional currency. So the fractional currency was created in 1862, and it was used until 1876 due to gold and silver shortages because the U.S. government had to borrow gold from banks in New York City to fund the Civil War, and this led to a gold and silver shortages, as well as general metal shortages that would be experienced as a result of an armed conflict happening. And there were several other solutions that were implemented on local levels, although the US government ultimately went with the fractional currency, which was initially postage stamps and then later updated to full banknotes. And this banknote from 1874 was part of the fifth series. We can see on the front we got the signatures of John Allison and Francis Elias Spinner. It was printed by the Columbian Banknote Company in Washington, D.C. And just 2 years after this was printed, the fractional currency would go out of use in 1876. So this is a pretty interesting banknote because of its age and how it relates to U.S. history, especially around the Civil War. And it is the oldest banknote in my collection. So that's a pretty neat addition. So this next one here is a foreign banknote. It's much newer though. We got $1 from Australia. And it's got no date on it, but it was printed between 1982 and 1984. Now, go back here, we look on the front, we can see Elizabeth II, who is legally the Queen of Australia as part of her title on the British throne. She's wearing the Order of Gartermantle, and in the middle, we can see the Royal Australian Arms. Pretty neat. So let's check out the back too. So over here, we can see a piece of Aboriginal art called Ceremony Funeraire for Gurmiringu. I think I just severely mispronounced that, my apologies, by David Malangi, who is an Aboriginal artist, Australian Aboriginal. And we can see some more pretty neat Aboriginal art going on over here. So David Malangi's piece, we can see a funeral ceremony as implied in the title. For the other art, we can see it looks like a lizard creature of some sort. Might be a Komodo dragon, but I don't know if they have those in Australia. We can see what's clearly a kangaroo, as well as some hunting going on up here. So pretty neat. And this banknote was made by Note Printing Australia in Melbourne and has the signatures of Johnson and Stone on the front. So pretty neat. I actually used to have two banknotes from Australia, but they've disappeared. They're much newer. They were polymer ones. But this is a new addition because it's my new Australian banknote. I don't see myself finding the older two ones anytime soon, so I'll just call this my new first Australian banknote. Another neat addition. Now, those are the two highlights of my new additions, so let's go over the rest of them. First, let's start off with two new banknotes from Spain. First, we have one peseta from 1951. Hope this is focusing. And interesting looking character we have over here. This is a picture of Don Quixote. First time I've seen a character from a book depicted on a banknote. This is a pretty small one as well. On the back we can see some armor and stuff, sort of thing Don Quixote wore. Next up we have another Spanish banknote. 5 pesetas, also from 1951. Here we can see an actual person named Jaime Bonmes. On the back we can see, it looks like a castle of some sort. It's pretty neat. So 2 new Spanish banknotes there, both from 1951. New additions for the collection, very nice. And also, since I haven't mentioned it, my computer camera is acting up again, which is why I have to film on my phone. Also, we do have the specific dates that these banknotes were issued on them. So this 5 peseta banknote is actually older than the 1 peseta banknote because it was printed on August 16th, 1951. And the 1 peseta banknote was printed on November 19th, 1951. So just a few months apart, but interesting to see the exact dates. Alright, next up we'll be going to a Spanish-speaking country in South America, Ecuador. We got 2 sucre banknotes here. Now, Ecuador uses the US dollar now, so these aren't legal tender anymore. But first up, we have 5 sucres from 1982. On the front there, we saw Antonio Jose de Sucre. I guess the money's named after him. It's printed on exactly August 20th, 1982. On the back there, we can see the Ecuadorian seal, bright red ink. Next, we have 10 sucres. This is a replacement banknote. I have one already, but it's not in this good of a condition. So we can see, also from Quito, the capital of Ecuador. On the front, we had there Sebastian Benalcazar. Looks like it might be a conquistador based on his outfit. This banknote was printed, or issued actually, I don't know if it was printed exactly on that date, but November 22nd, 1988. On the back here, we can see the seal of Ecuador again, now in blue. So, 2 new great additions to the collection, and interesting to see more Ecuadorian banknotes since Ecuador is not making them anymore. Next up, we'll be heading down to, let me think here, Southeast Asia. 2 new additions from Myanmar. One is Myanmar and one is Burma. So let's start off with the one is Burma since that's the older one. We have more World War II occupation currency. Quarter rupee issued by the Japanese government. Burma was a British colony, so the Japanese invaded them. Made these little very simple banknotes here. Pretty simple, a lot of design, like this sort of stuff going on. We got the denomination printed a lot. Pretty simple, pretty well off design-wise, though. Not from a good origin, though, because they were getting occupied by the Japanese as part of World War II. This is from, since I forgot to mention, 1942, although the date isn't on there. Next up, we got one from now Myanmar. This is 5 kyats from the year 1973. This guy here, we got, his name is Major General Aung San. Very nice design on this one they got going on. Got a little, it's like a, I think that might be a palm tree, or coconut tree on the back. Very nice. Back's got the English on the back here. So 2 neat new additions for the collection. Next, we got another M country, now this time in southeastern Africa, Mozambique. So let's start off with the older one, front here. We got 500 escudos from 1967. This was originally a Portuguese colonial banknote. However, it wasn't issued until after Mozambique became independent, so they reprinted it. Not reprinted, they overprinted that it is now issued by the Bank of Mozambique rather than the overseas bank specified up here. Pretty neat purple color. Guy on the front, his name is Caldas Javier. Maybe it's Javier Caldas. They might put his last name first on there, I'm not sure. On the back here we can see we got the colonial seal of Mozambique. Pretty simple in comparison to a lot of the other ones I've seen from the same time period. Printed exactly on March 22nd, 1967, of course from Lisboa, because Mozambique was a Portuguese colony when this was printed. Next, we have later on in Mozambique's independence, 200,000 medicais. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Apologies if I got that wrong. This is from 2003. On the front, we can see the Bank of Mozambique building and the Mozambique seal. On the back here, it looks like we got, I think it looks like some traditional dancers. Pretty neat. And we can see on the front here, this banknote was printed exactly on June 16th, 2003 in Maputo, which is the capital of Mozambique. So, another two neat new banknotes for the collection. Two new neat banknotes for Mozambique. The rest of these banknotes here, these countries only have one of each, so I'm just going to film them all at once. First up, we got Greece from the year 1941. 1941, we got 5 drachma issued. This is another World War II banknote. Pretty neat. We got some artwork here on the front, ancient Greek artwork. Pretty simple with a column in the middle on the back. Next, we have second replacement banknote here. 20 francs from Belgium, 1964. You can see the Belgian king. I believe his name is Baudouin over here in the little seal. I think this is the Belgian seal. And on the back, we can see this is actually a building called, it's like Atom something, I'm not sure, because it looks like an atom. And it's in Brussels. It's pretty neat. They still got it there today, of course. Oh, and also we can see the exact date on this Belgium one. It's June 15th, 1964. There's also an exact date on the Greek one, but I don't read the Greek alphabet, so I can't really give you the exact date on that one. Third one here, we have 5 shekalim from Israel from the year 1978, which is labeled somewhere on here in the Jewish calendar, so it's a different number. On the front there, we got this man, his name is Haim Weizmann. And on the back, we got Damascus Gate, which I believe is in the old city of Jerusalem. Also got some Arabic writing over here alongside the Hebrew and the English, so pretty neat. Got 3 languages right here. Next, this is a much larger banknote. Cambodia, 1,000 reals from 1972 or 1973. We got some school kids on the front learning. Pretty neat. Very green looking banknote. And we got this ancient statue with, I think those are tree roots around it on the back. Also really neat visual we got going on here. Next up, here's another interesting one. This is 5 fen issued on the island of Hainan by the Hainan Bank under the authority of the Republic of China in 1949. We got Sun Yat-sen here, founder of the Kuomintang. It is in Chinese, of course. And interestingly, there's nothing on the back. This is a blank back banknote. This is an interesting banknote because Hainan Island in 1949 was part of the Republic of China, which we now primarily know as Taiwan because it is located on the island of Taiwan mostly. And they did actually control Hainan after the withdrawal in 1949 from mainland China. However, they lost Hainan to the Chinese Communist forces as well as local insurgents in 1950. So less than a year after this banknote was issued, Hainan would end up switching hands. So pretty historically interesting banknote to see here. And last but not least, 20 francs from France. I hope this isn't getting too washed out on the video. Here we can see the composer Claude Debussy. This is from the year 1997. On the back we can see Debussy again. just as a year 1997. This is an interesting banknote, newer one, but really neat design. A lot of the French ones do. And interesting, we got a recognizable figure here, Claude Debussy, a pretty well-known classical composer. So that's it for today. We got a new oldest banknote, an Australian banknote, and some others that are also pretty neat as well. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. If you like the video, subscribe, and thanks for watching.